Welcome. We are going to start a new project today, and we are going to make some birch trees, okay? So these are tree trunks. A birch tree is kind of a popular tree that gets drawn and painted often because it has an interesting texture on the bark, okay? It's kind of a lighter colored bark, but then it has these dark marks on it or textures throughout it. They're very pretty trees, and artists all over like to draw and paint them. But today we're talking about the element of art that's called value. Value. So when we think of the word value and how we maybe heard it before, it might be at the store. Okay, when you might see a sign that says like great value, you're getting a good price on something. Or we might be familiar with the word valuable, okay? And that means that something might be worth something, okay? If it's valuable, it's maybe either worth a lot of money, or maybe it's just very important to the person it belongs to, and so it's valuable to them. So that's kind of just ways that we've heard the word value. But in art, it's kind of different. In art, we're talking about light and dark, okay? So this white section of the tree is the lightest, okay? And then I created a shadow on the side of the tree here, and that's darker. So the light section of the tree has a different value than the shadow side, okay? So let me show you an exercise with my pencil. Pencils and crayons are unique. Like I wouldn't be able to do this with a marker, but pencils and crayons are unique that if I press softly, so I'm gonna start off over here and I'm gonna press soft, and I'm gonna start coloring. And as I'm gonna move my way over, I'm gonna start pressing a little bit harder, and a little bit harder. And a little bit harder. I'm gonna get a better grip. And a little bit harder. And really, really hard at the end. Okay? So what I've done just by pressing either soft or hard and kind of medium in between is I've created a different value between here and here, right? This has a darker value, and this over here has a lighter value, and this is all the in between, okay? So this might be considered medium, okay? So we have a light, here I'll do an arrow here, medium, and dark. Okay? So this is just basic value, okay? I used one color to create this. For our birch trees, we're gonna create value using different colors. So this bottom grass is a lighter color, okay? Then the middle grass is a little bit darker. I'm gonna call this one medium, okay? And then the grass in the back is darkest, okay? So just because I picked different colors, the colors hold different values, okay? So it isn't always just one color. All right, I'm gonna set this aside. We're going to get started. And first what we need to do is we just need to make our trees, okay? My trees start at different points down here, but they all go to the top, okay? They all go all the way to the top, okay? All right, let's put our name on the back of our paper, right in the middle here. Always do that first. Okay, so a birch tree is kind of straight, but not perfect. So I'm going to start not quite at the bottom, because my trees, none of them are gonna touch the bottom, but they're all gonna touch the top. And I'm gonna make kind of an imperfect line, okay? It's a little bit wiggly. It's not necessarily wavy, but it's a little bit wiggly. Okay, that's one side of my tree trunk. And I'm gonna do the other side. Okay, before I move on, I'm going to add in those texture lines, okay? And they might look like, I like to do it like this, where there's 2 lines on one side and then 2 on the other, and then just work my way down. Okay, all right, there's one tree trunk. I'm gonna do the next one. I'm gonna start a little bit lower. I want this one to look like it's further back in the forest, and this one will be a little closer to me. Okay, but all the way to the top, kind of imperfect wavy lines. Before I move on, I'm gonna do my lines, okay? This is showing the texture of the bark, okay? Now, the reason I don't want to do my next tree until I've done the texture of the bark is I don't want to mistake the space in between for a tree. Okay, so I'm gonna do one at a time, all the way with the texture, okay? All right, so I want this third tree to be a different length than these two. So I'm gonna go a little bit shorter than this one. So I'm gonna start a little bit higher on my paper, maybe about here, okay? All right. I'm gonna start kind of medium again, down here. Okay, maybe this one's down low again. Okay, and I think I have room for one more, and I'm gonna do a short tree like this one again. Okay, so that looks like enough trees. what I'm going to do now is I'm going to look for a black crayon, and I'm going to trace over this with a black crayon. Okay? So I'm just going to do one tree at a time again with my texture. Whoops. Okay. Okay, so now my trees are traced with the black. And we're gonna move on to picking out colors that have different values, okay? Now, let me show you my two pictures. So I have this one. On this one, I did light grass on the bottom, medium, and then dark at the top. You can do the opposite, okay? This one, I did dark grass at the bottom, medium is always gonna be in the middle, and then I did light at the top. So this one looks like I'm in the forest, and this is kind of the edge of the forest, and the sun is kind of bright in the background. This one looks like I'm more on the edge of the forest where there's more light and I'm looking into the forest where it gets darker as I look in. So that just depends on how you want your picture to look, okay? So there's two different options. The light can be on the top or the bottom, or the dark can be on the top or the bottom, okay? But the medium color is always gonna be in the middle. So let's talk about picking out colors. I'm gonna bring my scratch paper back here. And we're gonna try to pick out some colors, okay? Let's see. You can, if you have, depending on how many colors you have, you can pick 3 of a similar color. So, like, let's say I have yellow, green, that's gonna be on the lighter side. Okay, this one, it's kind of a teal green. That's probably medium. And this is a pine green. Okay, that one's gonna be dark. So if you have the same colors, they're a little bit easier to identify as light, medium, and dark. I have to test them out on the paper because looking at these two, they look pretty similar. It would be hard to tell which one is lighter and which one is darker just by looking at the crayon. So I need to test them on the paper, okay, because they look very different. They look similar here, but very different on the page. I'm gonna set these aside for a second. Now, if I'm using if I don't have a lot of colors to choose from, if my colors, I have like a box of 24 crayons. Let's see, a yellow is going to be light, okay? So this is yellow. Or maybe even a pink. A pink would be light. Let's see. And if I have red, or this is more like a pink red, but regular red, too, would be sorry, I'm having trouble finding my regular red. But regular red would be a good medium color, probably. Or even, I can't find it, so that red is gonna do. So that's a good medium color. Another good medium would be like an orange. We look for just a regular orange over here. Okay. Orange is a good medium. Now dark, if we're going dark here, dark might be like a purple or a blue. So that's a bit darker, right, than these guys. And, or I could do yellow, orange, and red. Red is gonna be darker for here. Or, but let's do blue. So I was talking about blue. Okay, so just naturally, this color is lighter than this color, and this color is lighter than this color. Okay, same here. Light, medium, dark. Okay, I could maybe find a purple that is darker than this one. Okay, but as far as different colors, that's kind of a good variety. Okay. I think I like these greens, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the 3 greens. Okay? So I'm gonna put these ones aside for now. Put my practice paper out to the side and bring my picture back here. So I think I'm gonna start with the dark on the bottom. Okay? The pine green was my darkest green, so I'm gonna start with that. And what I'm gonna do is instead of just coloring, I'm going to make little blades of grass, okay? To create a fun texture. Okay, so I'm just gonna make a line of grass here at the bottom. All right, there's my first line of grass. I'm filling a few gaps over here. Okay, and then I'm just gonna keep layering that. So I'm gonna make the next line of grass. So my lines, some of them are close enough together that they touch a little bit, but I don't want them all to touch because I want to see those different lines, okay? All right, I'm starting to run into some trees here. That's okay at the bottom. The bottom of the tree, if there's grass growing, it might grow a little bit so that it covers a little bit of the bottom of the tree, just a tiny bit, not a lot. Maybe if it hasn't been mowed in a long time, but it will overlap a little bit. So I'm not gonna worry about this first row. I'm overlapping onto my tree. But this next row, I don't wanna go straight through my trees because I want my trees, the grass is gonna be behind my trees. So I'm going to go to my tree, I'm gonna stop, and then I'm gonna start again on the other side. All right, I need to stop, start again on the other side. Okay, I don't want to go through my trees. My trees are not my tree trunks are not see-through. Okay, so the grass I'm going behind them. Okay, except for that first layer. So this first layer can go on the tree, but on this one I already did the first layer, so I need to stop. Oh, stop, start again. Okay, and I'm gonna continue my dark color, or whatever color I chose to do on the bottom. So you might have your light color on the bottom. You're gonna continue that until you reach your shortest tree. Okay, your tree that's the furthest away. So it looks like I'm gonna do two more rows at least. Okay, so I've reached the bottom of this tree, but I want to kind of go up a little bit behind it. So I'm going to do one more row. Making sure to skip my trees. I don't want to go through them. Okay. So that's about, if I were to, my hand takes up about a third of my paper, okay, or my 4 fingers-ish, okay, depending on how big your hand is. So that's good for the first section, okay? I'm gonna do my medium color here, and then I'll do my light color at the top. So I'm gonna set aside my pine green, and then this one is called Shamrock. This is my medium color, okay? So now I'm just gonna pick up where I left off and go in with my medium color here. Okay, I'm going behind the trees now, so I need to stop and start every time I run into a tree. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more row and then I'm gonna save the rest for my light color. Okay. Now we've been going for a while, so I think we're gonna take a break, but I'm gonna do one row of my yellow-green so that I remember which color. And you know, if you, depending on where you're at, you might still be working on your bottom color or your middle color. Depending on where you're at, if you need to stop, what we want to do is on the back of our paper, I'm going to just do a little bit of color here and then I'm going to write it down, yellow, green. So that if I have a lot of crayons, especially when I come back, because if I put these away, when I come back, I know which color I need to look for, okay? So I'm not testing colors for the whole first, 5-10 minutes when we come back. But I am going to stop here just to take a little bit of a break. Your hand might be tired. Usually this is how much we get done in a class time. And there's quite a few steps left. So we're gonna just stop here and we will come back.